Welcome to, what is this day? Today is January, oh no, I'm recording this with my phone, so I don't even know the day, and I'm off by a few days because I took the weekend off of making these videos. And I've been running around like crazy because I didn't get to my gratitude this morning. I didn't do my journal writing this morning, and now I'm taking a few minutes to do those so that I can get caught up. But welcome to the year of Brooke. This is a year, an introspective journey that I'm taking to kind of rediscover myself. I'm 44 years old, and I'm just taking some time for me, time to look at what baggage I might be carrying around. I'm launching a blog this January 15th, and it's the first time that I've done anything that completely focuses on just me. I've spent my life taking care of other people. I think that stems back from some stuff in my childhood, which I'm looking at, and I think that's really important. I actually had a family member who experienced a trauma when I was a young child, and recently my doctor shared with me that he feels like childhood trauma, even when it doesn't actually happen to the child, but it happens to somebody close to you, can be a huge defining factor in how the rest of that person's life goes, especially if they aren't able to identify it because they were too young to know, that it was really a problem. So I'm going to be digging into that and sharing more research on that in my blog too. Hopefully helpful things for you in case you've dealt with anything similar, anybody who's dealt with anything similar. The other thing that's come up for me is a series of, I've talked about this a little bit on my Instagram, but a series of events in my life where bullying was involved, and I was the target of bullying at multiple stages in my life. And one this week came up, and it's just kind of a short story, and it was when I was in 6th grade. At the time that I was in 6th grade, we weren't in middle school yet, so it was still I was still attending our elementary school. And there was a girl, we'll call her Sally, who came to the school in like 4th grade, and we all befriended her because she was cool. She had the cool house. She lived in the cool neighborhood. She had all the things. She was just a little bit advanced too. She had an older sister. Because we were all so enamored with her, we all kind of followed her, which then gave her the power to sort of dictate what it was that we were going to do, like when we go out for recess on the playground. She was really smart, and she went off to Talented and Gifted program, TAG, which I think is still such an interesting name or label to give just a few kids, Talented and Gifted. But they would go off and do that on Fridays, and she started to come back on Fridays and ask the group of girls, who took over when I was gone. And, sometimes somebody would name somebody, and I don't really remember all the details, but I do remember one time I was feeling particularly confident one day, and I said, let's go to the swings. I think that's what it was. And so everybody went because we were free to just do what we wanted to do with her being off that day. And when she came back that day, she asked who took over, and somebody said me. And because somebody said me, because I had suggested that we go to the swings, I was uninvited to the upcoming Halloween party that all of my friends were going to. And I remember feeling so betrayed. I remember being like taking it all on. Like I thought, there was something that I did or something wrong with me. And it just really created this really awful thing for me. I think I cried for like multiple days, and my mom was, hugging me and consoling me, and I was pretty much unconsolable because I think the other thing that was difficult about it is my friends went along with it. And so nobody stood up for me, and I was not invited to the Halloween party, and everybody was talking about the Halloween party, and not only that, nobody would talk to me at school, all because I suggested that we go to the swings on recess when she was gone. And it was just a really sad time for me. And, you know, eventually I worked through it. And when I got into 7th grade, it had happened to a number of the girls in our group. And so eventually, as kids do, they started talking. And we kind of all got together. And I still have a little bit of regret about this, just because I think it was very empowering. But we all kind of got together and decided that we were going to tell this person that we couldn't be their friend anymore. And she ended up being alone. That's the part that I regret, is that maybe if we would have asked for some help or something, we could have found a way to work it out. But there was a real lack of awareness, I think, amongst the parents. Or either we weren't willing to share, or the parents just were kind of out of touch with what was going on. And so ultimately, I moved on from that friendship. And ultimately, I think she moved on and found other friends. But the things that I learned from that, and I guess why I'm telling you this, is if you're a mom, I hope you're staying in touch with your kids, and I hope you're really having a lot of conversation with them about what's going on at school. I'm grateful that my daughter is going to a school where they have a system. They have a little form that the kids can go down to the office and fill out, and it's called an incident form, and that just allows the middle school principal to be aware of everything that's going on for the kids, and that is reviewed, and then whoever is named in the incident form is brought in for a conversation, as well as the person who filled out the incident form, so that there can be conversation around these social issues that are happening, and hopefully a trained adult can intervene and help the kids sort it through before it gets as extreme as some of the situations that I was dealing with. And I guess in this particular case, the one thing that I feel like I can look back and say is, if I think having a helpful adult in there would have been helpful, like what I spoke about, but I also think really encouraging your kids to know their worth, and know that that worth is in no way related to what somebody's opinion of them is. I just know how I felt. When I was bullied, I felt like I did something wrong. There was something wrong with me. I wasn't good enough. I didn't measure up. It then informed my behavior going forward. Not only did I go out and react poorly when somebody would even just say something that would seem like maybe they were attacking me or challenging me, I would overreact to those things because I would be on the defensive. Because basically what shame does is it makes you feel bad about yourself. And then when you feel bad about yourself, you don't have the confidence to know your worth. And then when you don't know your worth, when somebody comes into your life and maybe isn't a bully, but is unintentionally doing something, you're going to react more strongly and maybe not handle it as good as you could. And I know I have tons of those examples, just going through life feeling like I needed to fight my way through life just to be okay and to be safe, because some of my closest friendships over my lifetime and even intimate relationships turned into very painful ones. And so I think the key is to know your worth, and to take time to slow down, to really dig into that and make sure that you have dealt with some of these things that have happened to you, and then secondarily that you're filling yourself up with the good and with what God knows about you and with who you truly are. And if you don't stop and slow down and take the time, then that doesn't happen. And so the blessing of my thyroid condition, which is one of the reasons why I'm here doing the Year of Brooke, is, and I know that I'm going to heal from this. I'm confident of that, and I'm definitely praying for that as well. And I know that this may, in some funny little way, be a little bit of a God thing. Not the thyroid disease itself, or the thyroid condition, whatever you want to call it, but just the fact that I think God is asking me to slow down and take a look at what's going on around me. I know that I had whisperings from God before this happened to do that, and I didn't listen. And so I'm not being punished, I'm just being pushed to do that and to take time for me. So I hope that you take time for you, that you know your worth, and if you don't know your worth and it's not good, and if it doesn't sound like something God would say about you, that you're going to check that and check it out and find out where that's coming from and put that baggage down. It may take a little bit of time, but I know you can do it. I'm doing it. It is possible, and we can do this together. So write me a comment. Tell me what's going on for you. Let's do this together. Let's encourage each other. The only reason I'm sharing any of this, because it's hugely uncomfortable for me to talk about things that have been like the most difficult things in my life, which you're going to hear more of. The only reason I'm doing this is to make a difference and to help somebody else not feel so alone in their struggle, and to maybe create a light bulb moment for somebody. That somebody might hear something I say and go, oh my gosh, I've done that too. I've stored up something, I've stored up lies that I definitely need to separate from myself and let go.